All right, I think enough time has passed. Let's talk about the Batman with spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, totally understand. If you don't want to watch this, you can just mute it and then, just let it play in the background, put a tab over it and then just let it play through so you still give me the view, but, get spoiled. I'm just saying, if you want to do that. And then you can come back and watch it later. That gives me 2 views. I don't know how this algorithm works. The Batman has 2 great opening scenes. It's a great scene to introduce the Riddler and a great scene to introduce the Batman. The Riddler is creepy right off the bat. Sorry, I always make that pun. He's like looking through binoculars at the mayor and his family and he's breathing all hard. I'm like, dude, do you need an inhaler? I got asthma. I know how you feel. It's like a horror movie at the beginning of this thing because he's spying on this family. He sneaks into the mayor's room. The mayor doesn't even know that he's standing right behind him. And then you turn away and a light flashes on the Riddler while he's just standing there with his mask on and everything. I was freaking out. I was like, did we accidentally walk in a Scream? This feels like a horror film. And sure enough, the Riddler's just standing there like, mayor don't see me. Just gonna stay right here, be quiet. Mayor don't see me. Now he ain't breathing that hard. And then as soon as that mayor walked away, he straight up was like, Kirk. And then he pulls out this tape, straddles the mayor, and is all like, this is my ASMR, everyone. Everything about you is icky. From the whole to the way you're just having fun with these puzzles and clues and you leave all these riddles for Batman and these like fun cards, but they're like scary. Very Jigsaw, it's very serial killer. A lot of people have referenced Zodiac and all this kind of stuff. It just really shows you how creepy and scary this Riddler is. But just as it was cool to see that Riddler set up, it was so cool to see that Batman set up. So this is taking place about a couple years of Bruce Wayne being the Batman. So people are aware of him. Some people know he exists. Some people still think he's a myth. The bat signal does go up in the sky. And what I love about this is that every time that bat signal goes up, anyone who's doing a crime looks at like the darkest shadow, the darkest corner they find near them is like, Batman, you in there? And they do shots of like a criminal like looking scared, and it's just boom, 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 and it's just a shot of darkness, like a dark alleyway, boom, 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 a dark corner. I like there's one guy that's doing graffiti, and then he accidentally drops his spray can and like rolls into the darkness, boom, 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 and he's like, oh, are you in there? And Batman, who's doing this Rorschach narration over it, he wants fear to be struck into the heart of criminals everywhere. So it's like, you don't know where Batman gonna show up. But if he does, and sure enough, there was this gang that was about to beat up on this dude for gang initiation, and Batman was like, oh, y'all picked the lottery wrong today. Boom, 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 boom. Walking out like a freaking cowboy, even feels like he got spurs on his boots. Boom, 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 boom. He walks a little slow. I mean, like, I feel like the criminals could have gotten away if they had enough time. I'm like, Batman, can you speed up a little bit? But that's the fear that Batman wants to put in you. And then he beats these dudes up hard. Like, there's always that one guy. Every single time there is a gang and the Batman shows up, there's that one dude that wants to puff out his chest like, I ain't scared of the Batman. Come on over here. Poof, 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 poof. Boom, boom, boom. The other people try to join in and Batman just straight up hits him. They try to shoot him, realize he got bulletproof costume on. He zaps a dude. He don't kill, but he hurts you really, really bad. And the guy that got saved is still like, don't hurt me. Like, I know you helped me, but also don't beat me up too. That's how scary Batman is in this. I love it. But Batman is getting called in this case to find out who killed the mayor. The mayor is all like taped up and it has no more lies written on his face. His thumb has been taken away. So Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, who does an amazing job in this movie because the entire time he's just like, come on, man. We gotta figure out this case, man. Like, help me out here, man, to the Batman. So he wants Batman's help, but of course all the other cops are like, what are you doing, Gordon? He's a freak. I especially love that there's one cop that like is so hateful to Batman. He's like, this costume freak. But then like scenes later, he meets Bruce Wayne and he's all like, hey, Bruce Wayne, big fan. The chief of police, I believe, is also there, or the current commissioner is also there. He don't like Batman. And he also gets to say the F word. Like, they get their one. You always get your one. This must be your favorite night, huh? Happy Halloween. Like, it's cool that you do that, but it's always funny, especially in a movie like The Batman, where you're like, that's the only time. Like, you try to do this whole dark thing, but like, this is the only guy that says the F word. I just think that's funny. That's just me. But it's really cool to see this scene with Batman along with Jim Gordon, because this is where we get the first taste of Batman doing his detective thing, looking at the whole scene of the crime. There's even a couple of times where he notices things that the other people didn't notice. Like, there's a woman taking photos, and then Batman was like, oh, I see this thing here that y'all don't even notice. She's like, oh, I mean, yeah, I was gonna take a picture of that too. I love how Batman operates in this. Not only does he do all this detective stuff, he's got all these crazy gadgets. He's literally putting like little things in his eyes, little eye lenses that record everything, video and sound. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the next live stream right there. You should be an IRL streamer, Batman. He also journals everything, which is funny to me because I'm like, oh, he journals. He's like Doug Funny. And now that makes me want a dark, gritty version of Quail Man. Clearly, the mayor was targeted. They have to figure out why. And it starts to spiral into this whole conspiracy. The mayor with the police, with the cops, with the politicians. Underground thing is going on. Some corruption going on. Maybe even some ties with the mob. And then, of course, there's the Penguin. Take it easy, sweetheart. Because the Penguin has his own club, the Iceberg Lounge, but apparently there's another club inside the club. And that's where all the politicians and the cops hang out, or they even work there in some cases. And they have the most PG-13 debauchery you could ever have. It's like, ooh, they down there taking drugs by drops in their eyeballs. Ooh, PG-13 drugs. Oh, they're talking to women. They're still not showing anything, but they're dressed less than normal. Oh, there's a stripper. I mean, a clothed one, and no one's throwing money, but she's on a pole. So Batman's got to figure out all these different connections, and it particularly gets heated when they find the mayor's thumb connected to a USB drive. Thumb drive. Haha. See, this movie got jokes. And used the thumb as a fingerprint to open up the drive, which I just thought that was pretty funny. Turns out the mayor, he's been hanging out at the Iceberg Lounge with a little bit of lady time. He's got a little lady on the side there. Once they open up this thumb drive, the Riddler put like a program on it that was like, oh, we send this all to the papers, to the social media outlets. Everybody's getting this photo of the mayor. So of course, everyone's like, who's that lady? Penguin, man. Penguin is just so great. Like, from the beginning, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love this dude because he's just so like, he's just a dick. I love when Batman's questioning the Penguin like, who is this lady? And Penguin's like, oh, you should ask the mayor's wife. Oh, too soon? Oh. I was like, damn, Penguin, that's cold. Turns out this woman is named Annika, and she actually lives with Selina. Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle. God dang. So, of course, Batman follows her, uses his binoculars this time, check it out. Catwoman, maybe a little too much, like she getting dressed and everything. I'm like, all right, Batman, watch yourself now. So Selina's like, don't worry, Annika, I'm gonna take care of this. She gonna do her thing. Batman, of course, follows her. And I sat there the whole time going, wait a minute. So Selina Kyle and Batman just left Annika, the girl that's being seen with the mayor right now. Yeah, she dead. Really? You both left the woman that just got identified as being the mistress of the mayor by herself, and you don't think she gonna die? Come on now. The scenes with Batman and Selina Kyle, they are just great. They have a great chemistry together when they're talking to each other, when they're fighting each other. There's a whole scene where they fight together because Selina's trying to get Annika's passport so she can get out of there. I especially love this happens later in the movie when Selina was worried about Annika and Batman was all like, well, she made the choices that she made. She has to live with the consequences. And Selina's like, oh, you think she had choices? I don't know who you are, but you must be rich. The commentary between the two of them is so great because Batman is just thinking about the standard, I gotta solve the case. But for Selina, this is personal because this is Annika. She's probably seen other people go through this. So she's like, look, this matters to me. That especially comes true when they decide to work together. Batman even does lens crafters in Selina's eyes so she can record and see everything. He can see everything through her eyes. And she goes down to the underground club and try to figure out what's going on, trying to get some information. But she's supposed to be down there trying to get information about the murder of the mayor and see how this club or maybe the mob is connected to all the politicians and the cops. But the moment somebody mentions Annika, her friend, she's like, oh, and Batman's like, no, do this. And she's like, no, I'm gonna go do this. But yeah, dude, she's walking down there and she sees the DA. And I don't know what it was. The moment I saw this DA, I was just like, oh yeah, that dude's gonna sing. All she gotta do is be like, so tell me what's going on, bat. And sure enough, Selina put one hand on that dude's knee. And he was like, all right, so this is what happened. So we did this case. That dude was singing like a canary. All she had to do was just put that one hand on the knee. He was like, let me tell you everything that went down. And everyone was like, shut up, DA. And I also, when I saw that DA, I was like, oh, he dead. Like, I don't know when it's going to happen. And sure enough, when he went to his car by himself, I'm like, oh, Riddler up in there. I know how this works. I seen Child's Play 2. I know what happens. He about to pull a Chucky on him right from the back. Oh, Coulson was the DA. I just thought I mentioned his name, his actual name. Not Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Different Coulson. Oh, and Annika has disappeared. Surprise, surprise. And Riddler does Coulson the dirtiest, man. He's already killed the mayor by hitting him on the back of the head. He killed the head of police by like sticking him in a trap that had rats eat his face or whatever. But with Coulson, that dude like knocked him out, put a freaking saw trap on him, like something that Jigsaw will put together, and then have him drive into a funeral. They put a phone on his hand, talking about call Batman. And then Batman gotta like solve trivia questions, solve riddles to save this dude's life. I actually really like the scene of Bruce Wayne at the funeral. Some people may be complaining that, oh, Bruce Wayne is not Bruce Wayne enough. It's just mostly about being Batman. Because yeah, Robert Pattinson is mostly Batman in this movie. I think the idea with this, as they stated, is that he's just a couple years into this. Like, he is still trying to figure out that balance of being Batman and Bruce Wayne. And right now, he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne. There's a good talk that he has with Alfred early on in the movie where Alfred even tells him, like, look, dude, you need to go out and do Bruce Wayne shit. Like, I know that you want to be Batman, and I'm going to be cool with you being Batman. Not exactly what my first choice would have been, but if you're going to do this, I'm going to need to do some Bruce Wayne shit every once in a while, okay? Like when some investors come by or some business deals need to be made, I need you to be Bruce Wayne. I know you're feeling kind of emo right now in your black shirt and your sunglasses, but I just need you to be a little Bruce Wayne just every once in a while, because eventually if you don't, people are going to figure out, hey, the reclusive billionaire and the reclusive Batman, if this franchise is smart, I have a feeling that Robert Pattinson will get more Bruce Wayne in the next one. Now that he learned his lesson that he needs to definitely have two lives. And maybe that could lead to some more conflict or some more drama within him. You also see people talking to Bruce Wayne, talking about like, oh, hey, you should do more for this city. He's talking to Bella Real, who's the person that's going up against the mayor to become the new mayor. I guess now she doesn't have much competition. And he definitely feels sad for the kid of the mayor because he had to find the mayor dead. And Batman, of course, knows what it's like to have a dead parent. And again, that cop, Bruce Wayne, big fan. I hate the Batman though. Good you're not the same people. Okay, so the thing that gets me about Riddler, we're gonna get on this a couple times in this video, but Riddler is not just a murderer. He's not just a serial killer. He's not just this insane guy that makes all these riddles and saw traps. He's also an influencer because he live streamed the entire thing with Coulson. Like the whole choosing the riddles and then exploding him. It's all a live stream. I don't know if that goes up against Twitch guidelines, but Riddler did it. Maybe if he was in a hot tub. Batman has to show up and answer these riddles. The riddles, of course, leading to the fact that Coulson been taking bribes so that certain cases don't go across the district attorney's office the same as other cases. And then when Riddler's like, yes, you will tell us who you've been getting money from. And dude's like, nah, man, I can't do that. Like, I might die from you, but if I talk, I'm gonna die from them. I can't speak. And the Riddler was like, all right, kaboom! When I did my non-spoiler review, I kind of said I didn't know how I felt about the Riddler. I definitely enjoy him a little bit more the second go round of watching the movie. I was just a little thrown off by him at first because he is scary. Like, he is like legit scary. Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight was like scary, but still an entertaining, fun performance. You know, we obviously were quoting the why so serious and the pencil trick. The Riddler is having fun, but like a scary fun, like unsettling fun, because there's some times where he is just energetic. He's all about it. Oh, I used to love riddles. But like the whole time I'm like, I'm scared of this dude. I don't even want to see like cosplay of this guy. No, I don't want it. If I see someone dressed as Riddler, I'm gonna walk the other way. I'll take all the Jokers dressed up. I'll take all the Harley Quinns dressed up. Jim Carrey Riddler outfit, come on by. Paul Dano Riddler outfit, get away from me. That's what's so, I guess, good about his performance. Is a compliment. Is that weird to say? Like, I don't like you, that's a compliment. So now that the commissioner is dead and the DA is dead, that leaves some openings. Could Gordon now get bumped up to commissioner? Could this open spot in the DA office mean that a little Harvey Dent might show up later on in future movies? I don't know. I especially love the scene at the police station. Like, Batman gets knocked out, of course, by that bomb, but then he wakes up in the police station, all the cops are around him, they're pushing on him, he's pushing back at them. And I love the scene where where Gordon is like, let me talk to him. He makes everybody go away, and he like gets all close to Batman, acting like he's talking all rough, like, I'm gonna beat you up, Batman. But instead he's like, I'm gonna get you out of here, man. I want you to punch me in the face and act like you did it on purpose, and then you get out of here, okay? And everyone's like, what they saying in there? They thinking that Gordon's giving him like the third degree. And he's like, just punch me in the face and get out of here, man. That's what I'm telling you, man. Jeffrey Wright, you know, yes, the Penguin is great. Robert Pattinson does a good job. Zoe Kravitz does a great job. But like, let's give respect to Jeffrey Wright as Gordon in this movie. He is so good. And sure enough, Batman punches him in the face and gets out of there. I love later Gordon's like, you could have pulled your punch. And Batman was like, I did. I also love the scene of Batman running away out of the police station. There's something kind of like comedic about it, because it's just all these cops running around. Ah! And then Batman's like, let me go over here. Let me go up here. Let me go up these stairs. Let me fly up here. Let me do a freaking Rocky the Flying Squirrel off the building. You know, it felt very Blues Brothers to me. But like I said before, I'm really loving all the detective skills and detective things that we see Batman do in this. It plays such a large part in this movie. It's really a detective story. It just happens to have some superhero stuff in it. But what's interesting about this whole case is that we find out that there was this big drug bust that Sal Maroni, he was like the head drug guy, the I drop drug thing. They busted him, but now it's starting to look like maybe that bust is not exactly what it seemed like. Maybe the drugs are still being done by somebody else. Maybe somebody even ratted out Sal Maroni so they can have a bigger piece of the pie in the drop game. Who was a stool pigeon? So Batman and Gordon trying to figure out who did that, who stooled. Is that right? Who stooled? Who snitched? And of course they're like, stool pigeon, Penguin. So this leads to an amazing, amazing sequence with the Penguin and Batman and the Batmobile. It is so good. I mean, they show clips of it in the trailers, but I'm telling you, watching that on screen, that Batmobile driving through traffic, Penguin trying every single way to maneuver away, Batman still behind him, hitting them thrusters. And then I love that there's one part that's just straight up Fast and Furious. I'm sorry. Where like a bunch of different trucks like hit each other and they perfectly created a car ramp for the Batmobile to jump up. And then the explosion happens. Penguin is looking back like, ah, I got you. I got you. And then that Batmobile just comes out Vin Diesel style. Knocks Penguin over. That car flips like 15 times and somehow the Penguin is still alive, and the Penguin's just sitting in the car upside down like, oh, I'm in trouble, and Batman just walks up slow, boom, bum, 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 and Penguin's like, bum, 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 you gonna hurry up? I really like that Batmobile scene, man, and I think the one big thing I like about that Batmobile scene is it came at the right time. Look, I love the detective stuff in this movie. I like the dark elements of this movie, but that Batmobile scene was needed. I feel like the movie might have started to drag a little bit if we didn't get that pump of action going on. I feel that way about all the action sequences in this movie. I feel like they're always set at the right time. Just when you start to feel a little bit like, all right, this is going on for a bit. They've been doing this detective stuff for a while, which is nice, but it's starting to get a little long. Then that action scene comes in. It's like, oh, let's have a fight at the Iceberg Lounge, where literally Batman's just running through fighting everybody. Someone tries to shoot him, he like flips the gun, hits him in the face. Or let's have the Batmobile scene. Let's have Selina and Batman fight each other when they meet each other for the first time. Let's have Bruce Wayne go back into the club, beat some people up, and then turn into Batman. And then have this really cool shot where people are trying to shoot him and you see like the lights flickering from each gunshot while Batman just moves forward closer and closer to each person, knocking them out. It's just so cool to have those scenes because I feel like it gives the proper balance to this movie. Without those scenes, this probably would have been a little super dark and depressing, but having those little bits of action every now and then helped put some energy back in the film, which then got me to get nice and rested again to get into more of the detective stuff. Worked out. Good job. Probably didn't need me 3 hours. You probably could have shaved a little bit off, but hey, it worked out. But Penguin ain't no rat. Yeah, I'll take Penguin all day, man. You calling me a rat? This guy doesn't know Spanish. World's greatest detective. Maybe who you were looking for might have been another mobster who we've seen a couple of times in this movie already, Falcone, played by John Turturro, who is just menacing the entire time. He got his shades on. He talks real small. He just is like, hey, you're Bruce Wayne. Hey, your dad picked me up when I got hurt one time because I couldn't go to no hospital, and he helped me out. Well, you know, he was taking the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocratic Oath. That's cute. Nah. Then he sees Selena Kyle later. He's like, hey, I haven't seen you around here for a while, huh? Hey, look me up. And I'm just like, that dude, don't mess with him. He talks too soft. Anyone that talks that soft gonna kill folk because he don't need to present. That means he is bad news. Oh, and then Selena Kyle is like his daughter or something. There's a lot in this movie. But this is where Bruce Wayne starts having some problems, when he starts to realize that maybe his family legacy ain't exactly what it seems to be. This discovery of like, oh man, my parents were like cool with a mobster. And then when the Riddler puts it all out there, oh, let me tell you about Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne ran for mayor as well. But Thomas Wayne was married with Martha, who came from the Arkham family. And oh, they got some deep stuff going on in that family. Mom killed dad and then herself. Martha has been in and out of the Arkham Asylum a couple times herself. Nice to see that this now has a very deep connection to Arkham Asylum, which obviously going to play a large part in the series that they're supposed to be coming out with. So now we see that direct connection of that happening in this as well. For some reason, people didn't notice, but then this reporter tried to tell everybody about it, and he tried to tell everybody about it right before Thomas Wayne's mayor campaign, and Thomas was like, hey, reporter, can you like shut up for a second? I'm trying to be mayor. Why are you spilling all my dirty laundry? And then the reporter is like, hey, this is what I do. And so then Thomas Wayne was like, hey, didn't I help a mobster once? Helped him like get stitched up? Hey, Falcone, look, this reporter's trying to tell all this information about me. Can you just like scare him a little? And it's like, come on, dude. Scare him. You know what he gonna do. Thomas Wayne was like, hey, just scare him, Falcone. And Falcone was like, oh yeah, I'll scare him. I'll scare him real good. It'll be the last scare he'll ever have. No, don't kill him, Falcone. Just scare him. Oh, I got you loud and clear, Thomas Wayne. So what you saying is, pat, pat. Then on top of that, Falcone's like, hey, Thomas Wayne, so I killed somebody for you. So, you know, I think that means that we got to work together now. This reporter got killed, and apparently the reporter's last name is Elliot, and they show a picture and it has Hush written over his face, and there's a Batman villain named Hush with the last name Elliot, might be the son of the reporter, so there's a possibility that Hush could be a future villain in a future Batman movie. So there's that. They sprinkle in little things here and there. The Waynes did not have a clean ledger. The Riddler knew that, and since the Waynes were already dead, he's like, hey, you gotta pay sins of the father, so I'm gonna kill Bruce Wayne. And then this is where it gets confusing, because like Falcone tells Bruce Wayne, like, oh man, Maroni didn't like what was going down. I think he killed your parents. But then Alfred was like, oh no, I think Falcone didn't like that Thomas Wayne might say something about the murder of the reporter, so I think he killed your parents. But Bruce Wayne is like, I don't care, man, my parents are dead. And also, they're not what I thought that they were. You all lied to me. Of course, he's saying this on Alfred's almost deathbed, but Alfred doesn't die, but he's like in the hospital because he got blown up. This scene like messed me up. So we find out that Bruce Wayne is one of the next victims of the Riddler's murder spree, and they figure out all the clues and stuff. And once Bruce Wayne figures it out, he like calls home. He's like, hey, tell Alfred, get out of the house. Like, you're going to get hurt by the Riddler. And the woman on the phone's like, yeah, so that happened like an hour ago. And then you look behind her, there's like firemen, and like the whole place is already blown up. And Alfred's in the hospital. She's like, yeah, you're a little too late there. I know it's messed up. I shouldn't laugh at that. Sad. Poor Alfred. But I don't know, there was something kind of funny about like, I solved the case. And meanwhile, you look right outside, there's already fire. Like, this already happened, Batman. You're a little too late. It's especially an interesting conversation between Bruce Wayne and Alfred, because Bruce Wayne's like, my family's not what they seem. You lied to me. And Alfred's like, no, they were good people. They just made a big mistake. But Falcone definitely likes to kill. He killed Annika. That thing was recorded. He killed Selena's mom. Father killed mother. You know, it's just like, wow. But then Riddler killed him. After the Riddler has done everything he wanted to do, he gets himself caught. He purposely waits to get picked up, which I'm always like, no. Anytime the villain like sets himself up to be like, I'm here, officer, come get me. Oh no. I'm like, nah, man. That means he got more planned. Batman's a little concerned that Riddler might know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So he goes to visit the Riddler. Riddler is on camera and everything, and he's all going, Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne. And then Batman's like, oh shit, he knows. But then Riddler starts telling a story about Bruce Wayne. He has the vibe that he doesn't know. There's still a small part of me that goes, maybe he does know, but he just don't want to say it. You're the Riddler. Like, I feel like you know, but you're just trying to be cool right now because you know you're on camera. You don't want anyone else to know. Like, you like that you know. So we'll see. As of right now, he supposedly doesn't know. I don't know. I think he does. But the reason why he don't like Bruce Wayne is because the Riddler was an orphan. He grew up in an orphanage right before Thomas Wayne died. He had set up this whole campaign where he was going to give all this money away to different public works projects. But of course, once he died, everybody went in there and got that money, used it for nefarious purposes. Because of that whole renewal fund being taken by the mobsters and everybody else, money never went to the orphanage. So the orphanage was struggling. They were talking about how like they had like 30 kids in one room. Babies were dying every winter because they got too cold. But nobody cared about them orphans. But rich Bruce Wayne loses his parents, and now every news station is talking about, oh, that poor orphan Bruce Wayne. He basically called Bruce Wayne a lost white girl. He was like, everyone cared about your story, Bruce Wayne, when you lost your parents, but ain't nobody care about all us orphans up here living Punky Brewster style away from the rest of society. So I don't like you. I don't like Bruce Wayne, so I'm gonna kill Bruce Wayne. The only thing I think is kind of weird, this is me being a little nitpicky, why did he go up to the mayor, and why did he go up to the police chief, and why did he go up to Coulson, the DA? But Bruce Wayne, he just like mails a bomb. He's like, oh, he'll get it. And the weird thing about Riddler, and this becomes like a recurring theme in this movie, the whole reason the Riddler exists is because of Batman. He saw Batman do his thing, and Riddler was like, we're a team. We're doing this together. And Batman's like, you're sick. I don't know you. We ain't doing this together. He's like, no, I'm your biggest fan, so we can work together. I left the clues. You answered the clues. I killed some people that I thought needed to be killed. We're working together. And Batman's like, dude, I don't know you like that. Why you sweating me? And then Riddler's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to go at all. All right, we ain't friends now. I'm gonna turn on you and blow up Gotham. How about that? The Riddler starts telling this whole story about, you know, it'd be crazy. Be crazy if I got trapped, right? But while y'all were all trying to figure out about all these corrupt politicians and everyone that I killed, be funny if I just like, at the same time, put a bunch of van bombs all over the city that blow up at the same time, and then starts a whole flood right during the mayor campaign, and then everybody has to go into one place, and then, you know, I can really strike. And Batman is like, oh, that's messed up. And Riddler's like, oh no, that's happening. Like, that's actually happening right now. Like, it was very funny. Like, I thought he was telling the story and they were just showing how it would have happened, but Batman was gonna stop it. And then I realized about halfway through, like, oh no, this is actually happening. Like, the Riddler tricked them. There's a part of me that feels like that was kind of the plan all along. Doesn't make sense. Why was the Riddler going after these people who were corrupt, but now he's just attacking Gotham as a whole? But I'm like, maybe that was the plan. Riddler's all like, oh yeah, so are you cool with me now because I killed those corrupt politicians, get those people of power out? You behind me? Cool. Let's just flood all of Gotham. And they're like, yeah, because again, not only is the Riddler a murderer and a serial killer and a guy that makes insane traps and riddles, he's also a social media influencer. Now he got a freaking secret Discord with like 500 people who are like hardcore Riddler followers about everything he's done. And he's like, after I flood the place and everybody goes to the mayor campaign for Bella Real and all those people are in there, including her, let's just all roll up there and just start shooting everybody. How about that? And they're all like, let's go. And then the dude got merch. Everyone's like, here's how you get in the Riddler's outfit. They all dress up like the Riddler. He's got his own merch. This dude live stream, Discord, merch, and a meetup. This is the worst influencer ever. Or the best. That's what's weird. Like, he's actually good at his job. If he had a Patreon, oh my God. And even when he makes the video to his audience, he's all like, hey guys, I just want to like, thank you for this awesome community that we have here today. And just the fact that we all work together to like, get all these bombs and like all these bullets so we can go attack everybody. Like, it's just so great to have this community. I'm like, oh my God, I hate him. Damn it, why is the Riddler so much better at being an influencer than I am? The Riddler squad, the hashtag Riddlers, shoot Bella Real. She doesn't die, but they get a good shot in. And then they start attacking everybody while everyone's getting flooded. So Batman got to go in there and attack. Selena Kyle's already there. So she goes and helps him out. This is a really cool sequence. Also, there's this weird moment where Batman is down, he gets punched out, and he like tries to save Selena. So he pulls out like this green venom and just like sticks it in his system. and then just like gets up like Popeye style and just beats this dude in the face so many times. I'm like, all right, are you Bane now? Is this setting up Bane? Like, what is going on here? But he put like some green juice in him and was all like, boom, 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 boom. Gordon and Selena were like, dude, what the hell, Batman? I'm vengeance. The last act of this movie, it is definitely more of a superhero style last act because you got a bunch of people trying to attack. So of course, Batman just got to punch everybody left and right. But I think that this whole segment is actually pretty important because Batman starts to realize he ain't that much different than these people. There's even one dude when he's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm vengeance. And Batman said that like 2 hours ago. That's my line. This is the part where I think this scene becomes important because Batman up to this point has always been about vengeance. Vengeance about what happened to his parents. This is the story of Batman learning that vengeance is not what he truly is for. He's not about just beating up people and stopping crime because of what happened to his parents. He realizes at this point that what he really needs to do is be helpful for the people of Gotham that need his help. Because eventually when they're about to get electrocuted, he like cuts this wire so they don't get electrocuted. There's people underneath rubble. So he like moves stuff around and reaches out. And first people are like, I don't know. But the kid that lost his mayor daddy, he like comes out first, and then Bella Real comes out, and then everyone starts following him. Batman literally is like holding a light through the water as they follow him like he's freaking Moses. And he helps people get to the hospital and get taken away. And he does his voiceover again and is like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, I can still stop crime. Yeah, I can still stop the evils of Gotham, but I'm not just doing it for myself. Now I got to do it to help these people. I got to do it to make these people's lives better. That's what I'm truly here for. And that's why I think this scene is important. What's weird about this movie, as cool as it is to see Batman be the Batman that he is throughout this movie, is at the end of the movie that you're like, oh no, he ain't supposed to be that Batman. The next one, the next time around, that's the Batman we're supposed to have. It's almost like an origin story in itself. Not the origin story of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, but the origin story of an early Batman evolving into a better Batman. The Riddler is still alive, and he's all mad that his plan didn't go through, yelling in his cell, no, no! Riddler's all sad that he didn't get his way, and then his cellmate next door is like, hey man, one day you're up, and now you're a clown. What you need is a friend. So clearly he's talking to Clayface. Yeah, man, I guess we get another one of these jokers. They don't call him Joker. They call him like unnamed inmate or something, but it's Joker. Everyone knows. So I guess we get another one. Joaquin is like, seriously, So everything gets wrapped up nicely. Batman solves the case. The people of Gotham are saved, even though there's going to be some crime going on because it's not fully recovered. Penguin is now going to probably rise to power and get his solo spinoff series on HBO Max. Selena Kyle is driving off in the distance of Bloodhaven. She might also get a spinoff, who knows? And the Batman drives away, hoping for a sequel. Considering how much money the Batman made, and considering that DC wants as many wins they can get, I don't think there's going to be a self-contained story. I look forward to the Batman. The Batman again. Here's just the one thing I would say about this movie if they decide to make future movies. Look, I think it's really cool that you got all dark with this, even though I'm going to be real with you, tone-wise, it still feels a little Nolan to me, but just done a different way. Definitely done through Matt Reeves' style. Definitely hitting some things a different way. It's definitely shot a different way. Like I said in my non-spoiler review, I think the cinematography on this movie is excellent. One of the best shot movies I've seen in quite some time. But what I hope with the future movies is that they realize that the story that they gave in this movie definitely plays a part just as much as its tone. What I don't want to have happen is that they get like deeper and darker because they're like, oh, that's what the people liked. Let's go darker. And then the story doesn't end up being as good the next time around. So I'm hoping that when we have the next one, if there is going to be a next one, that's what stays in mind. Like, yeah, still have this same style, but keep that story tight, maybe even a little bit tighter than 3 hours, because it's the combination of the two of why this movie worked for me. What I really hope happens if we get a second one is I hope we do get to see an evolution of Batman / Bruce Wayne. I think Robert Pattinson can definitely bring more to the role. I think he gave exactly what this movie wanted, which was a Bruce Wayne that was still in vengeance mode, that was still in depression mode. But in the next one, especially after talking with Alfred, especially after going through this scenario, will he try to do more of really separating the differences between Bruce Wayne and Batman a little bit more? And of course, it'll be interesting interesting to see what other villains could be put into this universe. I'm sure candidates like Hush and this unnamed inmate could be possible. Is it my favorite Batman movie of all time? I mean, it's gonna be tough, man. The Dark Knight is always a good one for me. Batman 1989, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman and Robin. Those are gonna be hard to beat. But yeah, is this one of the top tier Batman? Is this one of the better Batman films? I would say so. I'm not running around going best Batman movie ever, best superhero movie ever, but I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen it twice. I really liked it. I didn't think about any other DC Universe stuff. I wasn't thinking about Flash or Aquaman or any of that stuff. I just went, this is a movie by itself. I'm enjoying it by itself. That being said, that Flash movie did get delayed. And anything could happen after that. So we'll see, Pattinson. All right, I think this is enough Batman talk. I hope you enjoyed this. Tell me what things you liked, or what things could have been better about the Batman movie. And let me know if there's another movie that you'd love for me to talk way too long about next time. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Outie 5000. Bye!